What's up, folks? Welcome to the Muffed Podcast's coverage of the Euro 2021 or 2020, 2021. You call it whatever you want. Tournament. We'll be looking at squads, potential lineups, contenders, who's not a contender, all that. Stay tuned in. We'll try to get you a video every 2-3 days. All right, we'll jump into it today. We're going to be discussing England's predicted squad for the Euro 2021. Most of the big teams are already out. Portugal just announced theirs. And England set to announce theirs in 4 days. So before that, let's predict ours, all right? Our final prediction. Okay, let's start in goal. Who do we have in goal? The three names, I think these are pretty much all cemented. Dean Henderson, Nick Pope, and Jordan Pickford. I think this is like set in stone. All right, let's go right backs. I'm going to take three right backs in my squad. I think Kyle Walker's got to be there for the experience and what he brings on both the offensive and defensive end and versatility. Reece James is a very good shout because he's a young player, very good in defense, very good in attack. I prefer Aaron Wan-Bissaka over him, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka has not been preferred by Gareth Southgate, so he will not be on my plane either. And Trent Alexander-Arnold. Many are saying Trippier deserves a shout here. He definitely does. He's a great player, having a great season at Atletico Madrid. But Trent, he can just change games in an instant, and you got to have that. And contrary to the reports that are saying he won't go, I think Gareth Southgate will, in the end, change his mind, especially with the recent form. All right, for center backs, I got four center backs. Harry Maguire, hopefully he'll end up being fit, and I think he's a lock to go. Then you got John Stones, who's had a resurgence this year. I think he's a great player. I think he's a lock. Then my two backup center backs, I think this is a little controversial per se, not really, but I'm going to have Tyrone Mings. I don't think he's better than Ezri Konsa. I think Konsa's better than him, Ezri Konsa, but he's not been preferred as of yet, so I think Mings goes because of his leadership. And the second player would be Fikayo Tomori from AC Milan. He's having a great season, very underrated. I don't know why I'm not seeing him in many squad predictions, but I think he's a shoo-in for me. All right, left back, I think you got two simple choices. In my mind, I think it's Luke Shaw, very great season, and Ben Chilwell, who's been solid throughout as well. All right, let's go in the DM defensive mid. I think Jordan Henderson and Declan Rice are my two picks. I thought about Calvin Phillips, but more on that later. I think Jordan Henderson, if he's fit, I think he'll go. Definitely leader, great player. And then Declan Rice, he's just amazing. I think he's a great player. I think he starts. And then in the center of midfield, we're going to have three players. I'm going to have James Ward-Prowse. I know many people are going to be a little reluctant with this decision, but I think James Ward-Prowse is a great player. Very good at set pieces, and in a tournament, set pieces are important, and James Ward-Prowse is like the best of them. And you got Mason Mount, who I think will play a deeper role to allow the likes of Foden, Grealish, and others to go in that more attacking role. And then the third player would be Jude Bellingham. What he did in the Champions League just at the age of 17, absolutely insane. I think he's a shoo-in at this point. At the attacking mid, I got three players, and Jesse Lingard is not one of them. He just missed the cut. More on him later when I talk about my snubs. But the three players are Jack Grealish. I think he'll be fine after he comes back from injury. Foden, who is so good. I think he deserves to be in the conversation with Haaland and Mbappe. And then third, I'm going to have James Maddison. I know he's not been as great as of yet or as of late because, injuries and stuff, but I think James Maddison is such a good player. And at the start of the season, he was on fire. And there is no way you leave Matters at home, right? So charismatic. I think James Madison's got to be on the plane. All right, so on the wing, we got a couple players. I'm not taking Saka, but hear me out here. Hear me out. So on the wing, we're going to operate with three main players with others like Madison, Grealish, and then my X Factor, which I'm going to leave unknown, who could play on the wings. So let's go then. On the left wing, Rashford can play there. Sancho can play there if need be. Sterling can play there. So those are the three wingers I'm taking. Obviously, Sterling and Sancho can also play on the right. So those will be the contingent of wingers. I think Sancho I think he's the best of the bunch right now, honestly speaking. I think Rashford is second, so both of them start, and then Sterling comes off the bench. Due to his poor season so far, I think he's just not having a good time out there. But Sancho and Rashford have actually played played pretty well, I think. So those two've got to go. And Sterling, I think, even though he's not had a good season, he's got to go. And then up top, you got Harry Kane, obviously. No explanation needed. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think he's also pretty much a shoe-in at this point because Ings has not been there yet. So he is sort of fallen off. Bamford fallen off. Watkins fallen off. So I think Calvert-Lewin gives us some aerial ability as well. If you need like a late goal, he can come on and head something. And, that's pretty fun to watch. Pretty complimentary to what Harry Kane gives you. So, they add like a jigsaw, see what I did there. And then our X factor for England would be Mason Greenwood. I think he's been in phenomenal form, and I've opted to take him instead of Saka because, if late game scenarios, they're both young, and I think Greenwood gives me more personally. He can get you a goal, create some things. Obviously, Saka's better at some the creative stuff, but I think Greenwood's overall a better player as well. So Mason Greenwood goes for me as the third striker. He can also play on the right. And then to round off, we have a couple standbys. I mentioned Calvin Phillips, unlucky to not get a go, but if Henderson's injured, that's his time. Jesse Lingard, I opted for James Maddison and Greenwood kind of instead of him and Saka. But those two definitely, I think I could see them both going. And then Eric Dyer is the center back I'd like to see go if Tomori or Mings don't go. I think Mings is pretty much a certainty at this point. But Tomori, if he doesn't go, I know Keane and Cody are preferred by many fans. But Dyer brings some versatility and has improved play since Ryan Mason took over. So I'd like to see Dyer, unpopular opinion. And lastly, who's my last? I think that's it. I think we're good. I think you got Danny Ings. Yeah, right. Sorry, my bad. Danny Ings, he's a great player. He just, if it were last year, he would have been a certainty. Unlucky. I feel for Danny Ings, but that is what it is. All right, so here's our final 26-man roster. So in goal, the three goalkeepers: Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson, Nick Pope. You got Harry Maguire, John Stones, Tyrone Mings, Fikayo Tomori, Kyle Walker, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, Luke Shaw, Ben Chilwell, Declan Rice, Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, James Ward-Prowse, Jude Bellingham, Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, James Maddison, Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Jadon Sancho, and Mason Greenwood. And then you got a couple players on standby: Jesse Lingard, Bukayo Saka, Danny Ings, Eric Dyer, and Calvin Phillips. Anyways, folks, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Drop a like, drop a sub to see more coverage. We'll try to get you another video very, very soon. Most likely predicted lineups for the contenders and stuff like that. All right. Till then, peace.